Well, hello everybody. I hope you all are doing well and thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I was just fussing around and I was going through some of my own journals that I keep, and I wanted to show you today how to make a simple art journal that you could use as an art journal or you could use it for whatever you want. I'm going to show you quickly some of my own journals that I keep, my art journals. This is one I made a while ago. It was made out of cloth that I kind of quilted. And then in it, it has a pocket that holds my watercolors and my pens. And then I have watercolor pages. I like to work in little pieces. So I have watercolor pages that I either staple in. This is a book where I try new stamps that I get. I try new techniques. And I keep them in here just to remind me. So if I want to use something, I can go back and use it. And I'm definitely not an artist, but I love to play around. That's one example of an art journal. And the next one I'm going to show you is an idea journal that I keep. And this one is where I keep photos and ideas of things that I've made or things that I want to make. Again, it was a cloth cover and I stamped it, added some ribbon. It has one little pocket, a little journal inside, but throughout this I have photos, either for inspiration. This is a place in Wynwood, our art district here down in Miami. And this was an idea that I had, and then I ended up making it. It was a cigar box journal. But as you can see, what I use for the photos is I have one of these little HP Sprocket printers that I love. It has small sticker paper that you use for your photos. It does not require any ink. The ink is in the photos, in the photo paper. The photo paper is not that, it's like 30 cents a picture, but for me it's a lot of fun. I use it not only for this, but I use it for my travel journal. I can take it with me. But then this is where I keep photos of all the journals I've made. One of the hardest things when you make journals, for me, is then you sell them or give them away. You kind of lose a piece of you. So this kind of helps remember what I made, maybe gives me some other ideas, things like that. So what I thought as I thought I was running out of paper in all of my other journals that I use for my ideas and such, I thought that I would make a new one. So I made one last night, and I thought you all might be interested in making one as well. And this is the one I made. And it's simply an accordion style journal, an accordion spine. And this has watercolor paper in it, so that I can paint right into it. And I love it. It sits flat and it's just waiting to be decorated or journaled in. So today I thought I'd show you how I made the base of this. It's really quite easy, and if you're interested, stick around. It won't take long. What you'll need is, I use for the spine, the accordion spine, I've used an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. It's quite heavy. And then I'm using, I think 8 pieces of watercolor paper, and this is 140-pound paper. So I'm using that. And watercolor paper comes typically in 9 by 12. So I cut this down to 8.5 by 12. Okay, so I cut a 1/2 inch off of the side. Whoops. First thing I want to do is score my accordion paper. So I put the 11-inch side in this way, and I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, the easiest way for me to do this is to just count the little notches. So it's six little notches. You're going to need these papers. You're also going to need a bone folder. And your last score line, you end up with a strip that's a little less than 3/4 of an inch, but that doesn't matter. Let's see if I can find my good bone folder. Now all you want to do is, I'm going to start with this end. Just make your folds. I always fold, this end is going to be the front, so I fold that down. And I like to crease it along the way, just a little easier. Make sure you do that really well, because it really does make a difference at the end when you put your papers in to make your book. Okay, so I'll speed it up here and won't do it every one. I'll almost do it. Whoop, don't want to mess that up. Which I did do. And back, and over, back, and over. Okay. I'm going to make it nice and crisp. And do that like every other one. Okie doke. So you end up with everything nice and crisp, hopefully. Keep doing it over and over, pressing really hard. Of course, depending on the paper you're using. I'm using a very thick paper. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm going to put a strip between each fold. On the first one, because it's a little smaller, I'm going to use a thinner piece. Okay, let me try this. Let me try this. This got a little bent for some reason. Okay. Then I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces of this. And we're making it at 8 inches approximately. So just so it goes a little faster. Okay, let me get started with part of this. I want to get to as close to that inner score line as you possibly can. This is the tedious part, but it makes such a beautifully constructed book when you're done. Okay. Next thing is to, before we take the tape off, we need to fold our paper in half, just completely in half. And you want to make sure it's 8.5 inches. And then they'll each be 6 inches wide. Do they make a machine that folds and creases for you? You can just plop the paper in. That would be funny. We Are Memory Keepers will probably make that. If you know of a machine like that, tell me in the comments. Okay, so I like to take off the tape as I move along. Don't take it off all at once. I'm just trimming this up a little bit. Okay, make sure it's down really well. And we'll start over here with this side. And I take one side off at once, and then make sure it's even. and press it down, especially in the beginning. Then this side. Once you get going, it goes really quickly. Make sure you're not going over the fold line. What? That's not good. Oh, I see what I did. What I'm going to do is I have to take this off. Because my last piece was not as thick as the 3/4 inch, I should have put it down a little further. So I might have to go back and reinforce this, but for now, that's good. Okay, and you just keep going. You want to make sure that your pages are lining up at the end. They should all line up perfectly. Okay. Make sure that it's nice and crisp, every page. And here's what you have. Voila. And now all you have to do on your own is to add a cover. On this cover, I just put scraps. I had some adhesive 4x6 cardstock and just cut it up and put it on. And it's ready to go. What I also did that you might want to do is you'll notice how obviously the top and the bottom of each of these has, has a hole. What I did is I took a notch like this, and I glued it at the bottom and made it a little pocket. And so in here, I placed extra watercolor paper that I can use to paint on. I'm also going to put some markers in here, like this, just so I have it with me, ready to go, like that. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed learning to make this cool accordion book. I would probably take something and make, a little spine thing here to make it look pretty. But please do what you choose. And thank you for stopping by. Have a good one.